welcome to the program. I want to say assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.
I'm El Hajj Hasim Abdullah Baitul here with my brother Abu Bakr. Go through our prayers, thoughts go off everybody that's in the path. May Allah have mercy on everybody and also on nature itself. So, begin with that being said, we know the power of Allah. You know, He says, "Be it be." There's nothing man can do when natural things like this happen. You know, people always. Matter of fact, I was happy watching and seeing the roofs come off of houses and bricks going down, and my wife made a comment about, the people's in the brick houses are found like 3 little pigs. I said, no, it's not. And it just happened to show something where it showed a brick building that collapsed on some trucks. So, but when it comes to the wrath of Allah, only those who Allah want to be saved. So, other than that, nothing else is. So.
No, but what you are saying is true, but to some extent, some people call the wrath of God on themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we live in a modern times where God has given us the knowledge to be able to know this storm and determine when they are coming. And authorities are telling us that this is the situation. Your life is more important than the house. Your life is more important than the car. Your life is more important than the TV. Your life is more important than the gold. So when authorities tell us that it's going to be Hurricane 5, Hurricane 4, it's not for us to sit and argue and say, I'm going to wait and storm it out.
Exactly.
If you do that and the storm comes and unfortunately hits on you, you cannot turn again and blame God. Sometimes that's what we do and be like, that's the wrath of God. No, it's you. Exactly. Because these hurricane paths are made for water. It's human. We go there and we occupy where nature is supposed to go. But God has also given us the wisdom to know when nature is apt to destroy. So when that time comes and they tell you, you humble pack your things and leave. And after the storm is over, you come back. But unfortunately, we stand there and be like, I can, water this. Look at the people you even put in danger. Look at Florence. One man died trying to save people. Now it's whose fault? It's as a result of those people who refuse to move. Now they are in trouble and they are calling. Look at a woman with her children. Now she begin crying, put all these children under danger because of her own ego and whatever. So in this circumstance, I want to humbly, request those who stay by the oceans and the rest that be prepared. If you hear that there's a hurricane coming within a week, just take your car, put gas, go to one city. Just even if you don't have, money or gas, you go there and say, look, I'm from this area. You show your driving license. Definitely you get somebody who will take you in.
Somebody willing to help you. They have shelters, Red Crosses, Salvation Army. They have things of that nature all around when we do have storms. But and that's what they always say is, don't try to ride out anything. Say, I've been here before and we've written it out. But you never know the category. This started off as a category 1 or 2. Then it jumped up to a 3 and then a 4. And here it is going across land. It's still a category 3, which is unprecedented.
Absolutely.
Like they said, normally it becomes a tropical depression by now, but this is still a category 3 that's going across. And I'm talking about it's going to hit parts of Georgia where I know my mother and father was born.
Wow.
And so I prayed, Allah have mercy on all of my family members that's right in that path and everybody else that's in that path, because again, we look at New York years ago. Oh man, a hurricane never coming. What happened? Hurricane Sandy flooded out the subways, rusted out a lot of things. But it goes to show you wherever Allah wants to touch, it will touch.
Yeah.
So again, that is my humble suggestion too. Is when you get the warnings and they say please evacuate, do not jeopardize your lives or anybody else's lives. Material things can be replaced, but life just cannot.
No.
And you got to think about that. Lives just cannot be replaced.
And it's happening over too much in this country. Florence, it happened. Look at Houston last year or so. Even this guy finally realized that the mother and the father, they cannot survive. And he went there, took them and took his children. And then the water swept all of them away. But we keep listening about that hurricane about a week ago in Houston. And these people from what they can say. They are not people who couldn't find their way, but it's just that I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave attitude. You can come to the Midwest, go to New York, go to area where the flood will not be there. We all, human, we forget about history. Look at Noah when he preached to people and told them about the flood. The same thing, even his own son. He's like, oh, I'm running to this mountain. I'll be saved by the mountain. Look, nature, nobody can determine. Even the weather forecasters, that's what they say, it's a forecast. That's the only job you don't do accurate and still be paid. Exactly. Go and do any other job and you don't do it, you get fired. But with the weather forecast, we all know. That's why it's called the forecast. Exactly. So they tell you this, just obey. If it doesn't work, you come back. And if it works, there's no harm. I was just watching 12 o'clock news. And, the guy said there are people in the house there now crying. Yes, and then they'll be like, there's nothing we can do. They told you about this. Yeah. Why do you want to? I don't know what, is it that you don't want to carry your gold with you? That's why you stay with it in the house? Is the gold more important than your own life? Some people don't believe in banks, right, which I can understand. So they have their cash at home. But if it floods, everything will be gone. We have a brother in Houston, Tariq. The same thing, that his children were sleeping, it's just by the grace of God. The water came. If the children didn't even go upstairs to wake him up, he himself would have been carried away by the storm. Wow. Meanwhile, his family, his mother, that Sister Aziza says.
Oh yeah, okay, right. That's
so these are all examples that we should learn. They say first fool is not a fool, but second fool is a fool. So we have these examples. Trust me, if something is happening in Milwaukee and authorities say this, I'm out of here. I don't care about the house. I don't care about anything. Once they tell me a week before, if they say it's not reaching Chicago, then I'm going to Chicago. Right. But if they say, hey, it's the whole of Midwest, I'll go and be in New York somewhere. South or East somewhere. Sit there for some time. Hey, I'm not born with my job. Even if they fire me, I can find another job. I'm not born with the house. Especially my sympathy go to the children because they don't have choice. It's parents who decide to make these choices that, we're going to stay and water it out. Now you're looking at the children and now your heart is pouring out because there's nothing you can do, So it's unfortunate, but like we are saying, we as human beings who continue to pray for those people, may Allah save them. But nobody should think that is the work of God. If anybody who stays there, that's his or her fault. Because God has given us the knowledge now.
Free will.
That's right. We know these things are coming within a week. So if you do not leave, and unfortunately, the storm comes and you are dead, there you got to stand and answer before your Lord.
Absolutely. So no doubt. So with that being said, last week we talked about the 5 pillars of Islam, and one of the conversations that me and Brother Quick talked about, because some say Ahmadis aren't Muslims, okay? But as we discussed last week, we follow the same 5 pillars as all the other Muslims. What makes us different are we are Muslims who believe in the Messiah, as Ramazan Ghulam Manu and Qadir, as the promised Messiah and Mahdi. We believe him to be the metaphorical second coming of Jesus Christ. Now, they believe that the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, as we believe, that he is Qadir Nabiyin, which is the seal of the prophets. That means no more law-bearing prophets would come after him. He is the seal of the prophets. It didn't say no prophets, period. It means no more law-bearing prophets. No new law will be given, sent by Allah. But there will have to be reformers. Because again, like I said, a message get turned around and get twisted and get distorted every so many hundreds of years. So he has to send a reformer back to reinterpret that law to mankind. Otherwise, like I always use the ideology of you have 3 children. You give the mother and the father raised all of them the same. When they get out on their own, they say, well, this is what I interpret what mom and dad said. This is what I interpret mom and dad said. This is what I interpret. So they give that to their family. Now all of their siblings grow up and they are their kids, which be cousins, argue amongst each other. oh man, no, my mom is right, my dad was right. Well, your mom and daddy were all told the same thing, but they all told you differently on the way they wanted to interpret it to you. So, and this is what happened.
No, but Brother Hasim, the problem is that it's not about the Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. There's nowhere in the Quran that says that anybody who says there's a prophet after Rasulullah, the person is not a Muslim. Exactly. And number one, a Muslim, to be a Muslim, it has a definition. So God and the Prophet, who is the founder of Islam, he says that whoever says La ilaha illallah, he declares even you don't have to say Muhammadur Rasulullah. If you just say La ilaha illallah, you are a Muslim. And one hadith,
except Allah.
That's right. There's one hadith also that he says, whoever worships the way we worship, he slaughters the way we slaughter, and eat the way we eat, the person is a Muslim. Absolutely. So these are the definitions. It's just modern clerics who are twisting and turning things. During the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was a battle between a disbeliever and a Muslim. So during the fight, when the believer was able to overcome the disbeliever said, La ilaha illallah. And the Muslim went ahead in killing him. When this message got to the Prophet was very angry with the Muslim. And the Muslim explained to him, no, he was fighting me vigorously. It's because I overpowered him. But the Prophet asked him, did you open his heart to see? Exactly. You never saw it. And we also saw another example. During one of the battles, Hazrat Ali, who became the fourth successor of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, overpowered a disbeliever. And once he put him down, the guy spit on his face. And when he spat on his face, Hazrat Ali got up from him. And the guy was amazed. He said, man, I'm about to kill you. And you have the chance. And he said, no, once you spat on me, my ego came in. And I realized that if I had killed you, it will not be for the sake of Allah. It will be because of the ego that you spit on me. So and that's not the issue. And the guy immediately realized that, okay, this is a true believer of God. And he immediately accepted Islam. So that's how things are supposed to go. As far as, I'm concerned, you have to make sure that for Islam, according to the teachings of Islam, we have to follow the interpretation and not what people say. Like, for example, if to become a Green Bay Packer player or supporter, if they say you need a card and you have to pay your mental contribution, if you do that, you are a Packer fan. Exactly. Nobody can tell you that you are not a Packer fan. So they can say that we are not Muslims. Right. They cannot say that. Just say that I'm not an Ahmadi Muslim. Exactly. But you cannot say that the person is not a Muslim. Just like we Ahmadis. Right. We cannot tell them that they are not Muslims. Right. They are Muslims because they say La ilaha illallah.
And that's basically what we said is that once you say La ilaha illallah, that makes you Muslim. There's no contract to sign.
No.
No form to fill out, no application or anything like that, or no judge to go before and say, okay, do you do this? Do you do that? Once that person declares shahada, it says La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, like it just says La ilaha illallah, there's none worthy of worship except Allah. If he says that, that makes that individual Muslim. So anybody who said he's not a Muslim, were they around each and every day to see, hey man, I didn't hear you say La ilaha illallah, so I know you're not a Muslim. See, and these are the things that we, me and Quaku touched on last week.
No, but we are declaring these things openly. You sit here, how many times did you say La ilaha illallah?
But I'm just saying, somebody who didn't hear an individual say it, like, how the Pakistani government says Ahmadis are not Muslims. So, did they go in the hole?
No, did they hear it? No.
I know, but they've been told you can't even say that. You can't even say Assalamu alaikum.
Brother Hassan, in 1974, before they declared us non-Muslims, they called the Khalifa and he sent a delegation. They went to the Parliament of Pakistan and they asked them, who are you guys? What is your belief? And Jamaat took over 2 weeks to explain to them what Ahmadiyya is all about. But they still went ahead in declaring us non-Muslims. And even one of the parliamentarians asked them, okay, we called them here, they came and defended their belief. Why can't you show it for the people of Pakistan? Right. The Prime Minister said, you want all of them to become Ahmadis? So they never even played that argument.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just human ego.
I know. Absolutely. And that is my whole point.
The good thing too is that we
because if that's the case, I can go and tell somebody he's not a Christian.
That's all.
Or you're not a Buddhist. But how I know what's in that individual's heart?
No, but the person is telling you he is.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly. But see, my definition of what a Christian and what is going to be different. So I'm still telling him he's not. But it's not for me to say. There's only
absolutely. Meanwhile,
the
person is not worshiping you. He has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
So that's what Ahmadis, we worship Allah. And we know that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger.
Exactly.
We don't go to anybody. We don't get our kalima from anybody. So they are just worrying themselves. You and I, we know we are Muslims.
Absolutely.
We worship 5 times a day.
Absolutely.
We do all the things. So if a person is sitting somewhere and saying we are not, he has to stand before Allah and show on what authority.
and that's that's the beauty of Allah. I've never ran into anybody who told me, "Oh, you're an Ahmadi or Ahmadis aren't Muslims." But there was one of the new converts in our organization was somewhere, and somebody asked him, "Hey, brother, you're a Muslim?" But they said, "We got to talking." And then he said, "What mosque you belong to?" And then he told him, "I never heard of it." Then he said, "Well, I'm part of Ahmadi Muslim." Oh, Ahmadis aren't Muslims. And he knew enough to where he just said a few basic things. And he asked him, about the individual, about his belief in Jesus. He said, and the guy told him, "Oh, well, we're still waiting on Jesus to come." Well, we believe that Jesus already returned. Well, who is this Jesus guy? He said, "Oh, yeah, them Ahmadis worship this guy." He said, "No, they don't worship him. We don't worship him. We believe him to be the second coming, metaphorical coming of Jesus Christ." That's why I was asking you, what is your beliefs of Jesus? And I told him, you should have referred the young man to me, but when I would have been able to talk to him, he would have realized, hey, well, you know what? I don't want to talk to this brother because he knows a lot more than this other guy who just accepted Islam and still learning.
Brother Hasim, the mullahs are doing that. It's jealousy and propaganda.
Absolutely.
Within their hearts of heart, they know we are Muslims.
Absolutely.
Look, in Pakistan, it happened that after a Juma prayer, one mullah or imam or the leader of the mosque said, "Go and kill these Ahmadis after prayer." So they went to an old lady's house. They begin destroying. This is what the 4th Caliph reported one time. And once they begin destroying the woman's property, the woman was crying and asked them, "Why are you doing this to me when we all recite the same kalima?" Then the other brother asked the other one, "What is kalima?" And he said, "I don't know." So both of them, even they don't know what kalima is, but meanwhile they are there destroying.
And that is again why we talked about the 5 pillars and we explained them to the people what the 5 pillars was, and we believe in these 5. And that's why we'll go a little bit over the 6.
The brother you were talking of, he used to be here with Sabira, I've forgotten his name. But you said when you met him and asked him, "Why is he not coming here?" And he told you, Rashid Ali. He told you it's just about the belief. Now you asked him, what belief?
And he couldn't tell me anything. He was a young, but I really found out he was just looking for some African Americans to hang with. I realized what it was, but he was searching for a wife too. Found that out later. But what he was really looking for is some young brothers his age to run the streets with, so he could say, "Man, we black Muslims." That's basically what that's what he was looking for. And I kind of got it out of him because I asked him. I seen him in a restaurant. I said, "Brother, I ain't seen you." "Well, brother, I left because of my beliefs." And I said, "What is your belief?" "Well, what is your beliefs in Jesus?" And he couldn't say anything. Not one word,
No, because I'm told he went to a shop where one man sells perfume. The person don't like her.
On the south
So
side.
that's why
I know.
So that's why he worships. These are the people who tell him that we are not Muslims. But he doesn't know nothing. He doesn't know better. So he also takes it from them. That's why he couldn't explain to you. But it's all jealousy.
The young man,
we have never declared no Ahmadi will go anywhere and say whether a person is a Shia, he is Wahhabi, he is Sunni, he is Wahhabi, or Tijaniya, and say the person is not a Muslim. They are the ones that are worrying themselves, trying to say that Ahmadis are not Muslims. So they have to stand before Allah and declare. But we know, and we tell them too. But after I tell you who I am, if you still say I'm not, then that's you. After all, I'm not worshiping you, number one. I'm not doing anything for you. So the other thing is that don't go misleading others too. And unfortunately, that's why in this show and other platforms, I tell people, and Jamaat Ahmadiyya is encouraging people, Educate yourself.
Exactly.
If you hear something, don't just take it hook, line, and sinker. Take time, sit down, investigate, and make because on the day of judgment, we're not going to be judged in groups.
Exactly.
We're going to be judged individually. So if you keep following people and don't ask yourself questions, this man or this person, what he said, does that make sense? Right. On the day of judgment, you're going to put yourself in a corner that is unwanted. So let us pray that, all these people, like the guy, all these are the jail people, they go, these Qadianis, they are even some of them say, instead of calling us Ahmadi Muslims, they call us Qadianis. You are talking about last week, Pakistan, they banned Ahmadis from calling themselves Ahmadis because the name is associated with Ahmad. Right. So how can you do that? At one time they said that in Pakistan, an Ahmadi cannot even recite Holy Quran. Right. One man was passing and an Ahmadi had his television on and Quran is being recited on the television. What control has he? Right. They called the police and this man is serving 3 years in jail. Now, how can you even say a person cannot read Quran? In Quran, there's water. In Quran, there's sleep. In Quran, there's eat. So if you are telling a person that they cannot say anything in the Holy Quran, now you are telling the person he cannot exist. You can't do nothing. So it doesn't even make any sense, But that's where jealousy is. But Alhamdulillah, with all these type of things too, look at what Allah is doing for Jamaat. Since its inception, in the Quran, when the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad said, after every 100 years, God is going to send a reformer. So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad came. Ahmadiyya is now 135 years old. Where is the reformer? Exactly. Now they don't even want to answer those questions. And also, God himself says that if you are not from him and you claim to be, he is going to destroy you. Why is Ahmadiyya not destroyed? You mean to tell me that Allah is breaking his promise?
And you can see it is flourishing because, again, when you think about what, the promised Messiah, Alayhi Salam, said in 1889, that Allah revealed to him that I will cause that message to reach the corners of the earth. It is happening.
Oh.
It is happening.
Even the enemy cannot deny.
Exactly. So, again, if this is not from Allah, it would not be flourishing the way it is.
Absolutely.
We would not have had over 640,000 people accept Ahmadiyya from January the 1st of this year to June the 30th of this year.
Absolutely.
That's in a 6-month period.
Yeah.
640,000 people.
And keep growing.
640, just think about it, right? So that's over 500,000 people in less than 6 months that have accepted Ahmadiyya because they're realizing the beauty of Ahmadiyya, what it teaches, and what it is. So, absolutely. So, I would like for you to explain to people, we're talking about the 6 articles of faith now. What is the unity of God?
Yeah, unity of God means oneness. A lot of people, like for example, we know in Christianity, they will tell you God the Son and the Holy Ghost. You even go to the atheism, people, I say atheism, people who believe in God, but they believe in him through a tree. If you go to Africa, you see some people worshiping tree, and they'll tell you can only go to God through that tree. There are people who worship like a river, and they'll tell you that we are worshiping God through the river, different type of things. So in Islam, we say there's no barrier. It's between you and God. So that's the unity. So wherever each Muslim is, from all over the world, we believe that God is one. And you can reach him direct without any intermediary. So God is one, God has no intercessor, and God doesn't share his Godship with any other.
We look at the very first commandment, says, "Thou shalt have no God before me, or even set up any equals to me."
That's right.
So when we look at the Trinity, they're saying Jesus and the Holy Spirit is equal to God because they're saying the one is three, the three is one.
Yeah.
It has to be. But there's no way the three can be one if God says, "Thou shalt have no equals to me, or have none before me." So that means you only worship God. That's it. That is the unity of God. And this is what we as Muslims, all Muslims believe this.
Brother Hasim, the first missionary who came to the United States. Okay. When I heard that story, up to now, if I think about it, I laugh.
Okay.
In Chicago, he went to a Catholic bookshop.
Okay.
He looked around and picked 3 books. Right. And when he got to the person, the registrar, he gave him the price for one. Right. And the guy told him, no, you took 3 books. And he told him 3 in 1. And the guy said, not the business. So even in real life, this cannot be possible. Exactly. Now, how can it be possible with God? I tell my son 1 + 1 + 1 is 1.
No, it's 3. In nobody's math, 1 + 1 + 1 cannot equal 1. You know that.
No matter how you break the mathematics, even Einstein cannot come up with any logic to indicate that 1 + 1 + 1 is going to give you 1.
And that is the unity of God, And so again, we follow the 6 articles of faith, and that number 1. So now the angels, we believe in the angels of God, the angel of death, Gabriel, the angel of revelation, Miguel. We believe in all these angels, that come and go. And God, angels are obedient to God. They're not like men. They're not given free will. No. They're given, certain angels have certain tasks, and they have to perform these tasks. So, and me and a person was in a conversation the other day, and they asked me, man, do angels have kids? Do angels I told them no, because angels are created by Allah. Yeah. So they don't go around, a female angel don't see a male angel and say, ooh, I like them. I want to marry that angel so we can have kids together. That doesn't happen. And it blew his mind because, well, how do you get all these angels? And because Allah says me and me. That is how the angels are created. So angels don't have free will. Angels are given a duty and they have to abide by that.
And even the good thing is that's why God says He created human being in the best of creation. Yes. So these angels are even there to serve us. Absolutely. This is the beauty of human, but we sometimes denigrate ourselves to the lowest of the low. Even like you say, angels will not be judged on the day of judgment because the angel of death, that's just his duty. When your time is up, he comes and takes you, and that's all he does. He won't go doing other things that he's not tasked to do. Exactly. The angel of, breathing, the angel of, life. Every angel has their duty. It's only we human who God has given us the free will to do whatever you want. You can do bad, you can do good. He has given you the free will. So the only thing is, you will come to him and render accounts. Exactly. So there will be no judgment day for angels. Like God will say, okay, now I finished judging human. Now it's your turn. Or now I have to finish judging these angels first before I judge. No. So this is, and as a Muslim, you have to believe that there is angel. And we know angel Gabriel appeared before the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and revealed to him the Quran. He comes to him several times and did what he's supposed to do. So we as Muslims is one of our strong beliefs. And not only Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we believe since Adam, Moses, Abraham, all of them, and even people, ordinary people even, angels have come and they speak to them. So, like our second Khalifa, when he gave the commentary of Surah Fatiha, he said an angel appeared before him and he taught him word by word the meaning of Surah Fatiha. And after that, as that Muslim Maud, who is the second Khalifa, said, anybody who raised an objection against Islam, be it in the field of history, be it in the field of science, a Muslim should not go in anywhere, but go to the commentary of the Surah Fatiha, and that person's question will be satisfied. Absolutely. So he said it was an angel who taught him direct. Wow. And from that time up to today, Hazrat Muslim Mawu's commentary of Surah Fatiha is second to none. Exactly. All these people who are telling lies that we are not Muslims, they all have those commentaries.
They most definitely do. So that is one thing they do.
The promised Messiah himself said one night Allah sent an angel to him and he taught him 10,000 rules of Arabic. After that, he challenged the whole world. Whoever, and nobody came.
Exactly. Wow. So again, that's 2 of the 6 articles of faith that we seem to follow that all of us follow. Now, the books of Allah. Do we believe in the books? We believe in the Bible. Yeah. We believe in the Quran. We believe in the Torah. We believe in the Baitul. The Zabur. We believe in all these books.
All the books.
And this is another requirement of a Muslim, that you must believe in the books of Allah. Yeah. Now, we believe some of the books have been tainted, or or reinterpreted things of that nature. But if you find any of these books in their purest form, in their original form, you will see that it talks about, again, the unity of God.
Now, all those books is part of the Quran.
Exactly.
You know, God, in His wisdom, is just like a person. You are not just born today and then you get up, you can do everything. So it's the same thing with the human intellect. Human intellect begins to develop according to the wish of Allah. So God was giving already the Quran in so many pieces and bits to the prophets who came to guide and lead the people. So when mankind was matured enough to receive the message in full, then He revealed the Holy Quran, and all those things are contained in it. And that's why we as Ahmadis, we believe in all the revealed books. But anything that contradicts the Quran, because now the Quran is the final book and it contains all those teachings, then we say no, it cannot come from Allah. And if you see all the things that the Quran will reject are things that doesn't make any sense. But anything that makes sense, you see that, it is found in the Quran.
Absolutely.
So this is the beauty of, the Holy Quran. That is a book for yesterday, it's a book for today, and it's a book for tomorrow.
Amen. Amen. And again, that is why Jesus said, I have many things to tell you.
That's
but you
right.
can't bear them now. But when He, the Spirit of truth, come, He will teach you these things.
That's
because
right.
He knew more than what the people could handle. But He can only take them so far. But He knew the Quran would come, and it would be a nutshell of all of the books, that of God's revealed books in that one, that now the people have understood and can learn this entire message for mankind. So, and this is another thing. So that's again another one of the 6 articles of faith we believe. Now we believe in Allah's prophets. We believe that Adam was a prophet. We believe that Noah was a prophet. We believe that
from Adam to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Absolutely, Jesus. We believe all these individuals to be prophets. So that's something else that's no different than what all other Muslims believe, right?
And we don't make distinctions
amongst
them.
Many.
We believe all of them, like the Holy Quran says about Prophet Ibrahim. He said he's Hanifan. He's somebody who is inclined towards Allah, who submits to Allah. So from Prophet Adam and on to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are all sent from Allah with the same message. Absolutely. Because how can God be one? And He sends down prophets with different messages. Then, God forbid, God Himself will be the center of all confusion. But it is not Allah. It is we, mankind, with our ego and our arrogance and our ignorance. It's just like when Prophet Moses came and he left and told them about coming of, Jesus. He prophesied about Jesus coming. But when Jesus came, just because he's not a Jew, because, so to speak, because of his father, he has no father, they intentionally rejected him and felt that, he's not the one. And they begin just like what they are telling us today. Oh, where is Elijah? And he told them Elijah came in the person of John the Baptist, but you guys rejected him. It's the same thing when the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also came. When he was leaving, he prophesied about the coming of the promised Messiah and Mahdi. But the same thing, because the Arabs are waiting for him to come amongst them, and because he came from Persia, which also there's prophecy to that, they are saying, no, he's not a Muslim. Exactly. So this boils down to them calling us that we are not a Muslim, because they are waiting to see an Arab man on a camel with turban.
That's what they're waiting for. And what happens, see, they have given that same ideology to all the other Muslims everywhere, because everybody thinks that Saudi Arabia is the center of Islam, because this is what the Holy Prophet Muhammad came from. It came from, but it was just because that the Arabs were the worst of the worst during that time. That's why Allah sent them in there to, to teach these people, But again,
the Quran itself in Surah Juma, God says, وَآخَرِينَ مِنْهُمْ لَمَّا يَلْحَقُوا بِهِمْ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. That He will raise him among those who have not yet joined them. And He said, this is my favor, and I bestow it on whomsoever I pleases. So Surah Juma, the surah that talks about the coming of Rasulullah, He made it clear to them that His second coming is not going to be amongst them. Exactly. Just like what happened to the Jews. Just because Jesus is not, so to speak, to them, His father is not a Jew, they rejected Him. The same thing with Muslims now. Because a lot of them, when you talk to them, He'd be like, man, then why is Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salam not an Arab? As if you have to be an Arab to worship Allah. When in the Holy Quran, God says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most honored person in the sight of Allah is he who fears him most. So you can be an Arab all you want. If you are not worshiping God and doing the right thing, you're going to hell.
Absolutely.
And somebody who is an Arab, if he worships God, he does what God wants, everything. We are all the creation and children of God. God is going to love him and equally grant him paradise. So if you are talking about the prophets, this is the scenario of mankind. Mankind always try to do things according to his will and not the wish of God. And once you follow that, you are misled. So they are sitting down thinking that, even the other day, I heard somebody talking about when the Mahdi will come, he will come and kill everybody, and when he died, they will dig the grave of the prophet and put him there. I say, wow.
Let's get to these last two before we have so the fifth one will be the last day, the day of judgment. So we all believe in the day of judgment. We believe that Allah is Maliki Ahmadin, the master of the day of judgment. There are no other judges. Like, I can't go down here and Judge White or Judge Hanson or Judge Judy, or some of them. They're not going to be the judge on the day of judgment, right? Yeah.
They won't be, because they have to judge with rules.
Exactly.
You see, if I go, God forbid, in Walmart and I steal a tape recorder or whatever, the judge cannot sentence me to 10 years. The judge cannot sentence me to death, because the books and the law doesn't permit him. But God, when he says he's master, which means he has no rules. There's no rules attached to his mastership. So if he wants, he can punish. Nobody can question. If he wants, he let you go. So this is the belief we should have, that there will be a day of judgment, but he will be the master. He is going to preside on the throne, and there will be no hookups to that. No. Oh, yeah, they went for the trial, the space trial, because two of the Europe vote this way. You'll be like, man, hey, his trial day is coming. We saw him with the judge over there in the restaurant. And the judge is, hey, how much will you give me? Hey, I'll give you 100,000. Move away from me, 200. Move away, 500,000. Okay.
Exactly. That ain't gonna happen. So, hey, the last of the 6 articles of faith is divine decree. So we'll explain that, and then we'll.
Yep. Divine decree is just what we said, that we have 2 types of divine decree. One is natural, and one can be averted. Divine decree is whatever happens is the wish of Allah. Like, for example, death. We are all born to die. Nobody can run away from that. But there are other things that you can do on your own. If I get up here and I take poison, that's not a divine decree for me to die. I have hurry up my death. That's right. So there are some sickness that can come, and I can request you to humbly pray for me. And that prayer can be accepted, and maybe the sickness will be reversed and I will not die. Divine decree is like the sun appears from the east and sets in the west. That is not change. You and I can pray till our nose is all gone. God is not going to change that. Okay, now they want the sun to come up from south and then set up in the west. No, it doesn't go that way. So these are the things. But if certain things happen, it's a divine decree of Allah, and then you take it that way and you move on with it. But there are others which some Muslims, they misinterpret this. Anything at all, they just take and say it's the wish of Allah. If that is the case, then why is going to be punishment and reward? So there are other things, divine degrees, that can be changed, and there are others that cannot be changed. So that is the article of faith, and that's what we need to believe in. So those things that we cannot change, we stay with it. It's like age. If you are born in 2000, now we are in 2018, you will be 18 years old. You cannot pray to God and say, no, God, I want to be 1 year. Now, hey, God, you can jump into 100 years for me. No, you have to follow the path of, evolution to get that. And nobody can change that. So this is the divine, like you're saying, the belief in destiny. These are what we believe as Muslims. And once you believe in these things, like Al-Hajj Abdullah just mentioned, then you are a Muslim. But like we said, personally, nobody can determine, because when we live here, my brother Alhaji Abdullah, he doesn't know what I do after I left here. Same thing, I don't know. Right. So who am I to declare who another person is? So we all have to hold fast to God, hold fast to his teachings, and do the right thing, and hoping that God is the one who can determine who goes to heaven and who goes to hell. That is not in the hands of any human being. And all these non-Ahmadi Muslims, because we still consider them Muslims, and they are, because they say La ilaha illallah, they believe in Rasulullah, they fast, they go to Hajj, they do everything. So we are not saying this with reservation in our hearts that they are not Muslims. They are. And we believe that they are Muslims. But that's left with Allah to determine. They just rejected the promised Messiah. And there's nowhere in the Quran or Hadith that says that if you reject him, you are not a Muslim. There's nowhere that says that. So we still believe in them as Muslims. But as to whether they believe us to be a Muslim or not, that's left with them. But like I again reiterated, we don't want any favor from them. We don't want anything. The only thing is that don't go about telling lies. We are their Muslims, but we don't still believe in them as Muslims. It doesn't even make any sense. Not but whatsoever. It is not the generality of Muslims, to be sincere. Exactly. No, because it's only Ahmadi friends in Ghana who are not Ahmadis. And then I have friends even that I pray in their homes. When it's time for prayer, I don't pray behind him. And he sees me praying several times. So such a friend, if you tell them that Ahmadis are not Muslims, he won't tell you no.
and I agree 100% because I have a lot of non-Ahmadi Muslim friends, and not one of them has ever said to me, man, Ahmadis aren't Muslim. Yeah. Not one of them has ever said that to me. Yeah. And matter of fact, a lot of them have said, man, I see the organization you're a part of, man, it's so beautiful. I see you guys do more and show more toward what Islam teaches than any organization I've ever seen. Any organization I've ever seen. Hey, we'd like to thank y'all here for supporting us here at Islam Live. Again, that was the 6 articles of faith. And we as Ahmadi Muslims follow and believe in those the 5 pillars and those 6 articles of faith, as do all Muslims. Hey, every Tuesday on Make Collectivo Coffee, $29.99 North Humboldt Boulevard from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're here at Juma at Baitul Qadir, 5600 West Fond du Lac every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
So, Jazakallah viewers for listening. My only humble suggestion to all of us is the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says, wisdom is the lost property of a believer. Wherever he finds it, he picks it. So please, thank you for watching the show, but make time yourself and study. Be able to distinguish the wheat from the chaff. Don't just take everything hook, line, and sinker. Because remember, on the day of judgment, you have to stand before your Maker and respond. And you cannot tell God that day that, oh, this person told me this, that person told me that. God will tell you, I have given you the brain, I have given you the eye, I have given you everything. Did I tell you to follow that person? So in the Quran, God mentions that on the day of judgment, there are people who stand before him and say, oh God, this person has deceived me. And this is the question Allah is going to put before them. When I say Allah here means God. So my brethren and sisters who are watching this show, please make your own research and come to your own conclusion, because you're going to stand before God on the day of judgment and make your own call, and not any mullah or any cleric sitting somewhere in some part of the world saying things that he himself has no idea of what he's saying.
Jazakallah for that information. And again, we appreciate you all for watching us and supporting us here at Islam Live. See you next week. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. That's a lot of let me just call him. Hafiz, I don't know what came to his mind to do what he did. I know Hafiz, but sometimes.
Hold on a second.